Hello.
Hi. Hey, so today we wanted to talk about what it's like to transition later in life. Meaning, by later in life, just meaning like not as, a teenager, basically, right? As an adult. And so, what has been our journey with that? Like, how have we healed ourselves? How have we found peace and love and fulfillment within ourselves, no matter what, right? Like, since we transitioned, as adults, and we are still transitioning as adults. So, like, that's what we wanted to talk about today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I'm aware that, sometimes people feel like if they transition as adults, they feel this longing for their childhood, to experience childhood as their like correct gender, as their, who they really are, right? That's one thing. And another thing too is that a lot of people feel like they went through the puberty that they didn't want to go through, right? And so they also have feelings about that. And I've experienced both of those things, for sure. And I guess I'll start and tell my story about it, and just in general how I've like gotten through that kind of stuff.
Yeah, or I can. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Do you feel you want to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say
Okay.
Yeah, because like I guess for me, it doesn't really follow like too much of a timeline. It's just kind of like I really started focusing on self-love and loving myself in 2018, and so I've been like doing that since then for like 6 years, and I came out in 2018 too, for good, for the second time and the last time. And it's just kind of been a gradual journey of just healing this thing, like layer by layer. Like, for example, me being like, I want my girl childhood, like I wanted to have a childhood where I was living as a girl or something like that, right? So I feel like I'm mainly healed through the bulk of that, maybe like the first 2 or 3 years of my journey. Like, that's when it really came up for me, like a lot, and it was some of the most like poignant feelings about it. Ever since then, like after like moving through that and after loving myself in those places, I haven't really had it come up like quite as much, and definitely not as strong. It's kind of like settled down, which is great. It shows you that if you're persistent, like you keep like loving yourself right now when things come up, and like you do that regularly, or like all the time whenever you need to, you will get through this kind of stuff. It's like the first few years I was healing, doing the mirror exercise, which is the tool we use to like love yourself, introspection, loving yourself. I always had a coach, just like we are coaches, and I was always just working on that with myself and with my coach, whoever they were at the time. And I got through these things. Sometimes it was really hard to face those feelings, because it was like, oh my gosh, I'm like, oh my God, I feel really, sometimes like I was like really sad about it, or I was like really angry about it. Like, why could I not have had a girl childhood, Bless you.
Thank you.
But sometimes it was really hard, but all I did was I just stayed with it, and I just fully moved through the process of the mirror exercise, and loved myself, which doesn't involve a mirror physically, but it's just, it is a way to love myself. And I just did that over and over again. You heal it completely, right? like to the core, like everything about that. And then over time, like I just haven't had that as much, you know, those feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, that's basically been my journey with that.
Yeah. And the beautiful thing is like you can give yourself the childhood you want now.
Mm-hmm.
You don't. It doesn't have to have happened when you were a kid. Like you can do those things to love your inner child, and you're gonna feel so much joy and fulfillment and happiness now, because it's just about that feeling and about like that bliss of having that experience, and giving yourself that experience that you've always wanted. So, like for example, for like I work with kids, right? So like sometimes like we'll be like I'll be working with a little boy maybe, and we're like playing with trucks or something, and I'm like, yeah, you know, I just get real into it, and it's just so fun, and I can feel like I'm definitely in my child energy in that moment, you know, because I'm just like enjoying it. I'm just kind of being a kid in that moment, and that's like really healing it, and loving my inner child. And you can give yourself experiences like that, you know, or like what else, you know, and anything you wanted to do as a kid that maybe you didn't get to experience. But it's not about the doing of the thing, but it's about that feeling, like that bliss and joy that you feel. And it's really like just bringing yourself to like being able to be a kid again, and feeling that way again, and knowing that like that's loving yourself, that's loving your inner child, that's yeah, that's healing, right? So yeah, it's really cool. And also like, you know, just another example, like building with Legos, like, you know, that's just something too that for me, I personally, I find very healing. Yeah, so that's really what it's about, like giving that to yourself now, like the time really, it really doesn't matter, you know, it doesn't. And yeah, that's loving yourself, right? It's all about loving yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have the same process with the healing part of it, like healing your inner child and stuff, or do you still ever feel that, like strong feelings of like, I wish I had that childhood, or have you also kind of moved past a lot of the more intense feelings
definitely. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, sometimes even being with the kids brings those emotions up, because I'm like, oh man, like I wish that when I was this age, like I would have had this experience, and like, you know, been able to like just bro out, you know, because maybe I felt like I didn't get that experience when I was little. But that when those feelings come up, you can move through them, and love yourself there, and love your inner child there. And yeah, that's really it, you know. And I do feel like, you know, whenever it comes up, it's okay, just accept yourself there and move through it. And I wouldn't say that when it comes up, it's in any way like something that totally kind of sets me back. It's just something to move through. And I think that does come with the healing, like you were sharing, like it comes with really deeply and loving yourself, continuing to do that and love yourself, so that when these waves of emotion do come up, or things like that, like you it doesn't have to knock you down, right? It's just something that you know is coming up for healing. And it's also like you can know too, like when you do that healing, like you're just calling in more of these like really fun kind of like child healings and experiences. Like maybe you're gonna go on a fun hike or something, and it just feels really good because you're really loving your inner child there. Or you're gonna buy yourself a new toy, like like Legos or something as an adult, or and it just feels good to like give that to yourself, you know,
Yeah.
because you're calling in those fun experiences and giving that to yourself.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It yeah, it's like, and you've got to, you know, give that to yourself. If you didn't receive that as a child,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you have to give that to yourself, you know, and you can, and
it's as fulfilling as if you would have had that experience anyway. Like,
yeah, I
like what is it,
agree.
like your mind doesn't know the difference. Like if you're giving yourself that feeling and that experience, like it's as if you did have it as a kid.
Yeah.
And that's how like you heal your mind and your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Because like that's how our heart and our mind and our body works. Like you can like rewire yourself that way with love.
Yeah, I feel that. And so the result of this is that you don't feel regret about the past. Like you stop feeling regret about the past. Like you stop feeling any sorrow. There's not any grief or mourning about what happened, you know? Like I don't really grieve or mourn
I
or
don't either.
bemoan my childhood.
No, not at all.
I really don't.
No.
And I imagine that I would have if I haven't found this healing
We
work.
learn how to love ourselves and found the work. Yeah.
Yeah, if I hadn't done that, then I probably would feel really heavy about that, but I don't.
Yeah.
I just
I
feel,
truly feel like I came
Yeah.
out and transitioned at the perfect time for me. Like I couldn't have done it any differently. It couldn't have happened any other way. Because I did it when I was ready, and that's always perfect. And that's the situation for you, for everybody too.
Yeah.
Like it is always perfect for you, even if there's struggles with it. And you can always just like you know, bring that healing to yourself in that place.
Yeah. Right. And you know, yeah, you just feel peaceful, like, you know, you can ask anyone how. I thought there was a squirrel. I saw movement.
Literal squirrel moment.
Yeah, squirrels go on the balcony, but yeah, like you can ask yourself, like yeah, it's about asking that part of yourself, like, what do you need to feel loved, and giving it to her or him, and that's all that it is, you know. And the same thing applies to, like, if you have feelings about, like, why did I have to go through the puberty I didn't want to go through. And a lot of that ends up having to do with appearance, and that one it's the same, you know. It's really just about loving yourself within, and just giving, when you make yourself feel loved within, and that is your beauty within, like this, for yourself, for your inner child, and for your current self to feel beautiful, you have to completely love and accept him or her. And you know, I've been going through this one a lot, you know, and I can just say that it's really worth it to heal there, because you can feel a lot better about yourself and increase your sense of self-worth and self-love by doing that.
Mm-hmm. Also,
And
you get to a point where like that doesn't matter anymore, because you feel so comfortable with yourself. Like you get to a point where you love and accept yourself, and all that just like it fades to the background, you know.
it does, and it kind of like, yeah, and it kind of builds up in layers too. And so you'll just notice, what I've noticed too is that triggers having to do with that, they get less and less over time, pretty much. Yeah, they do. It's not always like really raw in that place, because I keep healing it layer after layer. And so it's a deep level of self-acceptance, and just be aware that everybody has to achieve deeper levels of self-love and acceptance. Like, even if someone is like cisgender, like, they still have to love themselves, because there are plenty of people who think their beauty, their gender identity, their sexuality is only this, like, is only their superficial body, and they don't know themselves beyond that, because that's what they've been taught to believe, and they haven't loved themselves there. And so this is a universal thing. You're not alone in this or isolated.
Right.
So yeah, that's all I wanted to say about that.
Yeah, feels good to me.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks for watching.
Thank you.
We'll see you in the next one.
We'll see you in the next one. If you want to work with us or anything, or get resources to help support you on your transition or your life's journey, check out the links below.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe for more. Bye.
Bye.